So the next thing I'm going to do is give you a little bit more of a concentrated focus on the next movement, because it's the first of 4 movements that are called the Taffies. Now the Taffies are sidestepping movements, so there's going to be a lot of similarity. I'm just going to go back so that you can get reminded of that kind of sidestepping, so off to the left, and the movement just goes back and forth, and your feet stay solidly on the ground, but the weight transfer, of course, goes across more to the right, and then across more to the left. So then with that, if you remember, if you can see this, with that there is this kind of movement of your pelvis. So you kind of get this movement back and forth, and the back leg is straight right now. So now my left leg is the back leg as far as my movement goes. And so it's straighter. I'm just going to show you what that looks like from the side. So this leg now is straightened out, whereas the leg that's once again weight bearing, as usual, is a little bit bent. And so that as I come across, and you come across here, you can see there's just a little bit more bentness in this leg compared to the back leg. That's kind of driving me, pushing me across just a little bit. So those are the basic pieces of the lower body. Then as we come to the upper body movement, the same basic principles of deciding which direction you're going. So in this case, we're going across to the left. And so to start going across to the left, you start with your wind up. I talk about that in terms of thinking of a golf swing or a baseball swing, that you wind up first before you head across to the other side. And there was that thing that we were doing with our hands to carry the ball to the side, which was we were just grabbing that Nerf ball and taking it back across. This particular movement has a little bit of a different way that the hands work that is the only addition onto what we're going to be doing. So if you can just make sure that you've got that sense of how your lower body's going to be swinging back and forth, and that you're going to start into it by doing that wind up and then coming across, then we're building on top of that. So here's what this movement looks like. I'm just going to demonstrate it for you first so that you can kind of see it in its continuity, and then we're just going to take it apart a little bit. So my wind up in this case isn't 2 hands coming across, it's the back hand sweeping across. And it comes across, and you can see that all I do is I take my right hand and I bring it parallel across my body. So here I go, sweeping across, and then I step out and I open, and then I just close again. And then I do the same thing going the other direction. And then close again. We do that 3 times. So you can see each time I'm doing that sweep, winding up, and then stepping across. So if you start with the idea that the wind up is your back hand that sweeping across as it comes into the wind up, right? So the back hand sweeps across in front of you. You can see my fingertips are down toward the floor, just gently sweeping across, and then it comes up across parallel, lower of your forearm parallel to your body, or to the floor. So you sweep across and your forearm just comes up parallel to the floor. So once you've got that part, well then you know what your other hand's going to do. It's just going to come over top. And the motion as you start to open up, as you go across, is as if you had like a cat or something long and fuzzy, or maybe some static energy, feeling the static energy between your hands, that you're just stroking without touching. There's no actual touching, but just kind of a stroking perhaps of that static energy and drawing it out. And as you come across, look what my hands do, is this underneath the sweeping hand is opening up as if it's kind of serving out to the side. The back hand comes and anchors the movement. So you can see it just turns, and you can see my fingers turn somewhat outward, but the feel of the movement is like so many of those platters, for example. It's coming out of the heel of my hand, and I'm getting that feel of anchoring down the outside of my leg and into my foot. It's just kind of an imaginal thing. It's just the same way as we were saying, feel a little more substance into your backhand when you're doing carry the ball to the side. Same thing with this hand here. It's kind of got that sense of substance and intention of anchoring down the back of your leg. So let me give you the full look here. So here I go across again to the left. I wind up and sweep across. Now this other hand comes over top. Now I step across, I open up and anchor with that back hand. So now my right hand is anchoring down while that left hand is opened up. And then it's quite simple that now I just kind of come up and rest. Okay, so that motion is kind of bringing that back foot up, and then both hands just come down into a resting position. Now let's try going the other direction. Just come with me now. I'm sweeping across to the left. My right hand comes, or my left hand comes over top. I step out to the right, and across I go, anchoring with that left hand down. My right hand's opening up, and my hand comes up, and my foot comes in, and I rest. So there's just this really nice back and forth that happens. So let's start this again. As I go into the wind-up, there's a little bit of a sink. Like as I turn, I'm also kind of corkscrewing down a little bit, like I'm dropping just a little bit into this bent leg, right? So I swing across and come down a little bit, and then step out. Open up and anchor with that backhand and close. Sweep across, wind up again, step out. And close. So keep on thinking about, rocking motion different distance. Like you shouldn't have to do a long sweep across. It's just like about that much, so that you're not working to bring yourself in again. It's got that very minimalist feel that's all the way through this form of Tai Chi. So let's do this one more time. Winding up with that sweeping across with your hand, stepping off to the left, opening up with that left hand as you anchor with the right, and then close. Now we're going to go the other way. So now you sweep across with your right hand, step out to the right, anchor with the left as your right hand turns out, and close. Second time, wind up, cross, close, wind up, cross, and close. One more time. Wind up, cross, close, wind up, across, and close. So it's pretty continual movement there. You can see, for example, as I come across and come into the close, I'm just kind of coming into it, and I'm already sinking and getting ready to move across. So there's kind of a slowing down as I come to the close, but it's not like carry the ball to the side where I do a brief stop. I'm just kind of coming and slowing and starting in again. Sink, and then across again. So there's this nice kind of dropping in that you get a little bit more of than with carry the ball to the side. It's easy with carry the ball to the side that you stay much more upright. So what this movement really helps you to get the feel of is that sense of sinking and moving across, really from here. Okay, so you're not bending over it, you're dropping from here and just letting it sink across and in. So if I do it sideways, and I wind up. And I'm turning into that motion and sinking a bit. Then I'm staying down there as I come across, and then bringing that leg in. Now I'm rising again. And then I'm going to sink again and wind up.